active on the fraud area and prevention, and also on focus on transparency within the program. Both are dearly needed. On page 147 of the report, you talk about the areas of vulnerability under the new public-private investment program, and you talk about, as the chairman said, conflicts of interest, collusion, and the potential for money laundering, which, you know, our U.S. leaders have rightly focused in the G20 and OECD on trying to stop these activities around the world. So my question is, so it seems like we would have a great deal of interest in stopping it in our own government programs. Has the Treasury adopted all of your recommendations to protect taxpayer interests related to the new public-private investment program?
They have not yet. We had a meeting with them earlier this week where we discussed in detail a lot of our recommendations. They've indicated that a lot of them are under consideration, but they've not yet adopted them.
Have they given you a timeline for adopting them, or indicated that they will adopt some, many, most, all?
They have not. The people that we were speaking to were sort of the engineers and mechanics of the program, and they were extremely receptive of our recommendations. They thought that they made sense. They raised significant concerns, but ultimately those are decisions that are made by the policymakers, and they have not communicated to us, one, where they're leaning as far as our recommendations, two, or providing us with a timeline.
So Secretary Geithner has not indicated publicly or privately if he will adopt these recommendations?
No, he has not.
You make the same, I think, common sense recommendations in dealing with the TARP. You know, simply asking that the recipients account for the use of the money and set up internal controls so we can continue to track it. I think that's a desire by every member of Congress and the public as well. Why, same question, has Treasury adopted these recommendations, and if not, why?
They have not, other than in the last administration when in the targeted investment program investments with Citi and B of A. That's the only time it was adopted. As to the why not, it's really for Treasury to answer. What I've been told on various times by Mr. Kashkari is that they believe that because of the inherent fungibility of money, that it is not a positive use of resources, that it would be a waste of time possibly, that it's very difficult to track, and other explanations. I believe the results of our survey disprove those suggestions. But as I spoke to Mr. Kashkari, I think last week or the week before, he told me that he's raised our concerns to the Secretary as well as to Chairman Bernanke, and that they continue to agree that this requirement not be imposed.
I just think stonewalling on this issue of transparency really undermines public support and confidence in the program. One of the goals of it is to restore public investor confidence in the system. Can I ask, final question, we're running out of time, but in your report as well, you raise issues about using the dollars that have been set aside for the Term Asset-Backed Securities Loan Facility, TALF, basically focused at consumer loans, and using that to finance the public-private investment program. And you suggest it really undermines TALF's stated purpose of trying to deal with credit-worthy consumers and small businesses. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, there's a number of concerns that we have in the expansion of the TALF. The program was designed for a certain purpose, as you noted, and that purpose was inherent in the fraud and credit loss protections of the program. Applying that to legacy assets, these toxic mortgage-backed securities, those protections don't really work. And that's why we previously made the recommendation to tread very carefully. And what we're encouraging Treasury to do is really rethink those protections. And we've had discussions with the Federal Reserve as well as with Treasury, and they have indicated that they are going to be adopting our recommendations, at least to the extent that they're not going to at least be dropping the legacy mortgage-backed securities right into the program. They're going to do, in response to our recommendations, they've indicated that they're going to do security-by-security analysis, and also indicated that they may adopt our recommendation that certain types of mortgage-backed securities are just off the table. And those would be things, these these securities that we know have been just riddled with fraud, the liar loans, the stated loans with no underwriting whatsoever, those types of things. So we're going to continue to push for those recommendations to be adopted.
Well, I just hope Treasury understands that if they don't adopt your recommendations, this Congress may well direct them to do. So, Madam Chairman, thank you.
Thank you so much.